The clock says it's time to close now. I guess I better go now. I really like to stay here all night. The cars call.
Okay, you fans of popular culture of the 20th century, I'm going to take you to Uni High in West LA, and I'm going to take you to where a lot of famous, or rather young future movie stars went to high school in West LA. This area right here in West LA was called the Sawtelle area. This is also the area where the great Marilyn Monroe grew up. And she would have gone to this high school and graduated in 1944. Now, I panned in at the beginning of this video of Frank Sinatra Jr. and Nancy Sinatra because they came here to this high school. And if you could believe the quality of American education, if Frank Sinatra would send his kids to a regular middle-class school at that time, can you imagine the quality of the education in America back then? Now, John Densmore, he's 78 years old. He graduated from Uni High in 1962. And Robbie Krieger, he's 77. He graduated in 1964. Now, this school was built in 1924. It's between Santa Monica Boulevard, and I'm going to make a right towards Wilshire Boulevard, and it's on the corner of Texas Avenue. Thankfully, it's still extant. Now, if you're a fan like me of a lot of show business biographies, you always hear, and he went or she went to Uni High. Well, this is the Uni High. If you're like me, you go, well, where's Uni High? Where is it? And you could almost say it's a very famous school because some of the most famous movie stars of the 20th century came here. Let me start out with, how can we forget the dude, Jeff Bridges? He came here. Can you imagine the quality of the education? His dad, a famous movie star, sending him here. I'm sure Bo came here. Jeff Bridges, he graduated in 1967. Here we go. I don't want to get this thing blocking right here, so let me get out real quick. Here's a shot of the famous Uni High, built in 1924. Okay, there you go, you fans all over the world. David Cassidy, 1967. He graduated from here. And let me give you a shot of the general area right here. Okay, Sandra Dee, she matriculated here. She graduated in 1958, but she dropped out, they said, at 16 because her star started rising. And Judy Garland, she came here in 1940. Peggy Ann Garner, the little girl from A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Jack Jones, that fantastic crooner, he graduated from here in 1956. Norma Jean Mortensen, who became the great Marilyn Monroe, she had to drop out. That was the bane of her life. She said that she could never get a high school diploma. Now, you got to remember, back then, a high school diploma was equivalent to 4 years of the type of quality education that they give you at Harvard. Okay, so she knew what she was missing. All right, okay, let me follow. Bobby Driscoll, the star from the Disney films, he came here. He graduated in 1955. And then, of course, he had already done Song of the South in 1946. And then he did Treasure Island 1950. And then at age 16, he did Peter Pan. In fact, when he was at Disney, the 12 old men, they drew him his movements for the animated movie Peter Pan. So you can see when he walks in his films, they captured his movement perfectly, transcribed the film, or rather an animated film. And it's like amazing when you watch his films, and then he's walking, and then you see him in the Disney animation. Okay, let's continue. James Brolin, he came here, he graduated in 1958. Okay, and I met James Brolin at the Albuquerque Auto Show in 1973 in the downtown convention center. Nice guy. He was coming off Marcus Welby. He hadn't really hit the instant fame. Roddy McNeil, he came here 1946. Desi Arnaz Jr., the son of Lucille Ball and the former member of Dino, Desi, and Billy. Annette Funicello, 1960. Jan and Dean. That was Dean Torrance. He graduated here in 1950. And then Jan Berry, 1959. Now they were the guys that were doing the beach songs before the Beach Boys, 2-3 years before. Elizabeth Taylor, 1950. Judy Garland, I think I mentioned her, 1940. We just lost the Sue Lyon, who was coming here when Stanley Kubrick casted her in Lolita. And how can you forget that classic poster of Lolita from 1962? She just died, unfortunately. She could never get her life together, she said, because she started so young. Okay, now Elizabeth Taylor, she came here, but she was actually only graduated from here. She wanted to know what it was like graduating with a regular, normal class. She actually matriculated at MGM, but they gave her the okay. So she came here and she did her graduation with a class of 1950. Okay, so let me say one more thing. This school not only being a metaphor for the quality of education, what with Frank Sinatra Jr. coming here and Nancy, but it's also a metaphor because behind the school is an 80 square foot lagoon that's been there since the 5th century BC, and it's been pumping out 22,000 gallons of water every day. And the Tongva Indians had a village here in this spot. It's somewhere in there. They said that you can go once I think once a month for a Tongva ritual on the school here at Uni High. And I just want to say that's a metaphor for all the people that wrote their signature into the 20th century, because the name of the spring is a place where we are in the sun. I mean, think about it. I mean, that like signifies like stardom too, right? Being in the bright lights. So it's almost like it cast a spell on the people that came here. The name and the spring in the Tongva language is called Kuru Vungna. So if you're interested, you can come here once a month. It's somewhere on the campus. And that village was visited by the Spanish explorers when they were coming up north on what they called the Portola expedition. And one of the chroniclers said that when they stopped the Indians came out, the natives rather, I'm sorry, and they brought them a fresh bowl of watercress, and then they gave them chia seeds, and then they lit sage, which must have been the white bee sage that I also grow. So oh yeah, here you go. I found that Gabriel L. Lenyo Tongva Springs Foundation. There you go. So anyway, they said that they camped out here. The guy that wrote the journal, his name was Juan Crespi, and yeah, we're gonna drive in here. I don't know if you're allowed to I can't see that without my glasses what that says, but as you can see, I can smell the sage. I can't believe that I said the sage and they're burning that sage. Wow. I mean, talk about serendipity. Okay, so thankfully John Densmore's still alive, Robbie Krieger, and you can smell that sage, and you can also smell the eucalyptus, and most of these buildings around here, they were all apartments put up in the mid to late 60s. Nothing but condominiums, but at least we have this little place of sanctuary for the Tongva Indians, or natives rather. I'm sorry, I keep on using that term. And this is where you would come to the ritual, I guess. And as you can see, they're going to have some kind of event. And okay, so thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to my channel. And Marilyn and Sandra D and Sue Lyon, wherever you're at, good night, sweet princesses. Annette Funicello. So okay, well, thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, be seeing you.